Hello, everyone. This is Ken Caldwell, Dean of the School of Business Administration at University of Houston, Victoria. And I'm joined today by Dr. Jifu Wang, one of our more senior professors at the school. And this is the third of a three-part discussion about learning and about how you can get the most out of your business education. And I think it's going to be perhaps the most interesting and critical one for a lot of our listeners. But first, let me introduce you again. Dr. Wang has his PhD from Auburn University, and he is the chair of our management department in the School of Business Administration. He has rich management experience in international business and a broad social network in the business world. Jifu's been teaching capstone courses for our two MBA programs and brings a real-world mindset into the classroom. He pays special attention in his course design for creating capabilities in students so that they can face business challenges and get career advancement into executive levels as they move on in their careers. So welcome, Jifu.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
So again, this is sort of a three-part discussion we've been having. The first one, we talked about learning mentality or the hierarchy or levels of learning. And the second one, we talked about learning methodology and how you go about gaining capabilities when you're in school. And if anyone hasn't seen these, I highly recommend you go back in our thread of the School of Business Administration and watch them. But the third one we're going to talk about, as I said, is one that is probably most relevant and important to a lot of our listeners, which is career skills. So tell us about what the most important skills are for your career.
Okay. In the first session, we talk about the hierarchy of learning. The first one is knowledge. The second level is skills. So when we talk about skills, people may have different kind of skills. So what are the expectations for our students getting into the business programs, for the undergraduate program, for the graduate program? What skills are significant? A lot of people know that when they come to, especially for the junior and senior years in the undergraduate, and when they come to the MBA, they are trying to choose a field. The field that you want to go along in your future. Sometimes we call that concentration. So what your concentration will be, which area you want to concentrate in. Now, a lot of times believe that if I want to go to accounting, so accounting will be everything for me. And somebody say, I want to go to marketing, and the marketing going to be everything for me. And sometimes you even hear professors telling you that. Now, we need to know when we are in the business settings, whatever you have the expertise in, marketing, accounting, finance, economics, MIS, those are we called professional skills. Those are the skills you have been trained to do. About 15 years ago, if you want people to list what's number one skill you need to have, people will tell you professional skills, which means the expertise area that you should have. Recently, there is a 1,500 firms survey. The question is to ask the CEO of the company to list what they expect from the business school students when they get into the firm. What do they expect from them? So when they select their managers, when they select their talents for the future, what they cherish. Number one is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is talking about how you can deal with people. Now, we all know in firms, we have the position, structure, right? A lot of people talking about structure, they believe, structure is just the organic chart. It's not. Not only that, you create the positions, that's organic chart. The chart itself would not produce any results. You need to put people into those positions. They're called social structure or interactions. Now, how people can interact is going to be influenced by the guiding principles or value or culture of the organization. So we call that the third level of structure, which is the superstructure. When you look at these three levels, that's how the structure can facilitate the strategy implementation. So only having your professional skills would not help you very much in the organization to implement the strategy, to make results or better results, or choose the better directions. So interpersonal skills ranked number 1. Now, I always tell my students, says, okay, you need to know this is the number 1 skill. Do you have it? Yes or no? If yes, how much? That's how you find the rooms to improve yourself. You need to know how to handle people. You need to know how to be happily kind of get yourself around people so people will come to you. Now, when we talk about leadership, we say leadership is a process within which the leaders and followers influence one another by communicating ideas, by motivating people to support, to accept, and to implement your ideas to achieve organizing goals via change. So you have to get people to support your ideas. If you open your mouth, you piss off all the people around you, no matter how good your ideas will be, it will not be supported, it will not be accepted, and let alone being implemented for results. So that is why interpersonal skills are very critical. And I would say that in our country, because we have this heroic kind of spirits, our interpersonal skills are not very well developed. So we need to pay attention how to handle people, how to know people, so that you can say things, you can communicate in various ways, but you'd like to put that in a way that people will nicely accept it. That's the result. We need to know humans are emotional animals. If we hurt people's emotions, no matter what you have, people will not like it. So interpersonal skills, very significant. And the second one is communication skills. Communication skills are very critical. How can you communicate your ideas so people can understand, people can support, people can accept, and in the end, you get people buying so that they will take your idea and implement it. That's where you get results. So communication is very critical. How you write an email. And I always tell my students, handwriting. When you write something on paper, if your handwriting like the earthworm come out of the rain, people couldn't figure out what you do. And people can ask, how can I trust what you wrote going to be credible? So we need to practice to make ourselves kind of more credible so people can believe you. So the way you say things, the way you write things, are all the things that get you the credibility so that you can build up your trust along the way. So the second one is the communication skills. And the third one is the professional skills. Of course, you need to know better. If you are in accounting, you should know how to do the books, how to have the big ledger into small ledger. So very clear, logically trace what's happening in the organization, how much money we have, how much we've spent, from what the pattern we spend, what kind of strategic decision we can make for the future for the firm to be better. So when we talk about professional career skills, number 1, interpersonal skills. Number 2, communication skills. Number 3, professional skills. And I want our students to know, check yourself on the 3 skills to see where you stand. Find rooms for improvement. So that is, you know what to do, you know how to measure, and you know how to prove.
That is great stuff, Jifu, and it's true. We hear time and time again, and I certainly hear when I'm talking to potential employers that it's the soft skills, the so-called soft skills, that is really what they're looking for. And they need people who can work in teams, who can work together, who can figure out ways to get things done, and all of that sort of thing. And you're absolutely right that the technical skills come after those things. They're both important. But that those so-called soft skills are very critical. So thank you for bringing that out. So thank you very much, Jifu. This has been a great series of talks, and I really appreciate your taking the time to chat with me today.